Just hang on. GPU prices have plummeted and availability has skyrocketed over the past few months, and I know you're all excited about that. Well, the recent cryptocurrency crash has just given us gamers another opportunity to buy GPUs at even lower prices. Hey YouTube, I'm Danny, welcome to the channel. Here I am once again talking about graphics cards. Yep, that's the most popular and fastest changing topic in PC tech. So why not cover it? Cryptocurrency has tanked within the last week in both value and mining profitability. You can see Bitcoin dropped from about $30,000 on June 10th to its price of $20,913 today. Ethereum went from about $1,700 down to just under $1,100, which it is right now. Since the value has dropped so much, GPU mining is no longer profitable. An RTX 3090 Ti only makes about $2 a day, and that's not factoring in the electricity costs. Crypto miners have stopped buying up all the GPUs and started dumping them onto used market sites like eBay in an attempt to cut their losses. This has also caused retailers like Newegg and Amazon to have constant stock of all GPUs, which is something I'm still getting used to. The longer these cards sit on shelves, the cheaper prices will go. This has been occurring over the past 2 or 3 months now and is continuing even today. Now take note, we're about a year and a half into this GPU generation, so all the buyers that must have a graphics card have already made their purchase. The remaining buyers are willing to wait for GPU prices to return to a more reasonable number, like MSRP or below. Remember, higher used GPU availability equals lower new GPU prices. And I believe they still have room to drop, and they will. Let's take a look at the current GPU pricing for June so far. I redesigned my comparison chart so that I could show previous month's prices because my page was getting a little crowded. And I took all this time making an Excel document. Then I realized Videocardz.com has a much better chart and it actually changes colors and stuff. So I'm gonna use theirs. I'll leave a link below and you can swing on over to their website to check it out with me. They have this really well designed here. It's got all the GPUs from both Nvidia and AMD on the left-hand side, as well as the MSRPs for every card. On the left-hand side here, they have the MSRPs as well as the retail prices for both cards from June 1st and June 15th. And then they also have the 15-day change between the two dates. On the right-hand side, they have eBay prices for buy it now, as well as the average eBay price of each card from June 1st and June 15th, and then the 15-day change as well. You can see at the bottom here, most of AMD's GPUs are either at or below MSRP already. If AMD decides to drop prices even more, Nvidia will have no choice but to massively discount just to keep up. The used market is not wasting any time. These miners and scalpers are dumping GPUs at an alarming rate, with many already under MSRP, but the Nvidia cards are not quite there. You can see on the used market, the Nvidia cards on the high end, like a 3090 or 3080 Ti, are at MSRP or below on both the retail market and the eBay used market. Cards like their 3080 all the way down to the 3050s are still holding on to those higher than MSRP prices. Many buyers don't want graphics cards that have been mined on. They're a little weary about buying used mining cards. I've bought them in the past and had some luck, so it really just depends on what the card has been exposed to. You may want the comfort of buying a card from a reputable retailer like Amazon or Newegg, because that gives you returnability if something happens to the card. If that's your cup of tea, you should probably wait a few more weeks because the retail market is going to take more time to catch up to the used market. They have to get rid of all this inventory before new products release. Speaking of new product releases, let's talk about that. Pretty much every major PC tech company is releasing new hardware at the end of this year. By the end of this year, AMD will be shifting its entire desktop lineup to next-gen hardware, both CPU and GPU. On the CPU side, they're releasing the Ryzen 7000 series, codenamed Raphael. This is built on their 5nm process, and it's actually going to be using an entirely new socket, AM5. So you'll have to buy a motherboard, a CPU, RAM, all kinds of stuff. You can expect a late September to mid-October release date. Graphics cards for AMD will also have a fall release time. Greymon55, who is a really well-known leaker over on Twitter, says launch late October, no later than mid-November. The GPUs are going to be their Radeon 7000 series. I wonder if AMD is going to do some kind of marketing thing since both CPU and GPU are going to be using the 7000 naming. Now, Intel is going to be having their first ever GPU release. This is their Arc desktop GPUs. You can expect a late summer release, but it's already been pushed back once or twice. Intel says to expect the cards to have current AMD and Nvidia offering performance all the way up to an RTX 3080 or 6800 XT, but we'll see. And the longer they wait, the higher the chances that AMD and Nvidia are going to be releasing their next-gen GPUs and make Intel look even worse. Intel's CPU release, however, is going to be their 13th generation codenamed Raptor Lake. This is built on a refined Intel 7 process using the current LGA 1700 socket. This is also their hybrid chip design with big and little cores, and it's rumored for a September to October release, just like AMD. Now, Nvidia only makes one thing that us gamers care about: graphics cards. These things are rumored to be up to 2 times the performance of the current generation cards, but we all know how rumors work. They might not always be true. All the Nvidia leaks are pointing out that the RTX 4090 is coming out September to October timeframe, the 4080 can be expected October to November, and the 4070 is November to December. Don't expect the 4060 until January of 2023 or later. Now that's a lot of releases, so if you have a PC right now, it might be worth your wait to build later on in the year and get all this next-gen hardware that's going to be coming out. If you don't have anything right now, now's not a bad time to buy because the prices of last-gen stuff are coming down very fast. CPUs are cheaper, GPUs are cheaper. It's the best of both worlds. So what should you take away from this? I guess I should probably sum it all up for you. GPU mining has all but ended once again, which is causing a flood of cards on the used market. This will continue to drive down prices even more because retailers need to get rid of inventory before new products release in the fall, and they have a lot of it. Lastly, tons of new products from Intel, AMD, and Nvidia will be releasing at the end of this year, so you might just want to wait and see what the performance and the value looks like at that time. And if you want to hear about all this new hardware, make sure you subscribe down below, because you can bet I'll be covering it every step of the way. Now, I might not get early access to these items, but I'll be buying everything I can on launch day for builds and reviews, so make sure you come back and check those things out. And as I always say, I'm Danny with Danny's Tech Channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
My breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town.